Hello future tech leaders, I am Sindhuja. Based on my own experience, I know that learning the right skills can shape our future. What if I say learning was as thrilled as the tech world itself? There we go. A cloud foundation, that's exactly what you will experience. From day one, you will be immersed in the interactive sessions and expert-led courses that covers most of the widely used technologies in the zone of data science to cloud computing, which brings more light to the life of a techie. I'm so excited to help you and unlock the true potential of a technology. Well, then why to wait? Let's see what it unfolds.
I just wanted to show you the prompts. Instead of giving some values, we can select the option of prompt. I just added here and I will also add sales revenue here. We will try to run the query. Otherwise, we will try to run the query. Now what it will ask is it will not directly show us the report. Instead, it will ask us which year you want to see the data for. If I select 2014 and say the report will be loaded and we can see the data for 2014. If you see, this is the sales revenue for the year 2014. If you refresh the report now also, it will ask us to give the values. For whenever we refresh the report, it will prompt us to give the values for year because we selected the option as prompt. Instead of giving some static value, we have put this as a dynamic. Let me widen my screen. I was not able to show you this because of the server. Today, I have covered like how we can put the option for prompt. Let me go back to edit again and I will select state also in the result object. And if you want to remove this year filter, just click on this and then if you see here, if you want to delete one filter, you can select this. If we have multiple filters and if you want to delete all filter, we can select removal. Now here we can say remove and we can put the status as a query prompt here. And we will put option as a prompt that it gives a user flexibility to select some data. We will select some Florida and see if we have data for that area. If we drag state here, Florida. In this way, we can use the report filter, query filter, document filter. That is about document filter. For all of us data, the data is limited to Florida. Whatever we include, the data is limited to only Florida state. That is about document filter. After coming to report, also we have some filters available. Those filters are called as report filter. It is specific to the report or tabs. If you see here, if you go to analysis filter, add filter. If you say add filter, if you have multiple blocks here, it will give us all the list of blocks here. This is like a report one. This is like a structure of the report. If as we only have one table, it is showing this vertical table block 1. I will rename this as otherwise. Today, this will take off. We will only put state and sales revenue in one table. And here and sales revenue for other table. And we only have Florida here. We will give some more value. To give some more values, we can refresh the report again and we can select this many states. This table is a block 1. This table is a block 2. But we will be confused with the name of block. We can rename the block based on their functionality. Here state-wise sales revenue. Format table, here it is block 1 is there. Instead of block 1, we will put to what is this table is state-wise sales revenue. This is the name of the table and these are the properties of the table, like do we want to show row with all empty measure values? Show table headers, table footers. Do you want to hide for any condition? Hide when empty, hide always. Based on our requirement, we can change these properties. There are also some formatting options like borders, appearance. If you want to put any background or color and layout also, we can put like this table should start from it. Here it is mentioned as 0.3, 2 centimeters. Based on our requirement, we can change it. If I put 1, if I apply, it will move a little bit to that the table should be 1 centimeter left of report. And also for top of report, we'll keep 1 centimeter. From the top, it should be down 1 centimeter and from the left also, it should be 1 centimeter. If I apply, it is going up. If you want to change it to 2 centimeters, it is coming down. Repeat header on every page. It is recommended to put this option for the big tables because if the table is continuing in the next page, also here, this is only having some small amount of data. That's why it is only small. But if in our real-time reports we will be having some pages of data, page 1 of 1, there will be some around 40 to 50 pages. Also in some cases, what we have to put is repeat header on every page. If we click on this, the next page data also will have this header state sales revenue. Otherwise, if you don't have this option, we will get only values and will not get this header. I'm just showing this here and I put a statewide sales revenue. This is a sales revenue format table. Your voice. Sales were in. But now we'll keep this places as it is. And I wanted to show you the report level filter. Analysis, click on filter, add filter. Now it will show us 2 blocks. Data by sales revenue and here by sales revenue. It will ask on which table you want to put this filter. First, we'll go with the state by sales, revenue and filter. It is already state wise is selected. We'll put your and we will put 2014. And for this we will not keep anything and we will see like how it is behaving. It is changed. And if I keep it here it is only 2014 data is getting displayed. But here 2014 to 20 years are there. But in this block we have applied report level filter which is saying it should be 2014. We are getting only this much of this year data. It is about the input. Report filter. These are the types of filters we have covered, query filters that we have already also covered. Report level filters. That is the thing that we have. Missed yesterday. The sales revenue store name. The margin is less than. Let's see. We will try to create a. Now we will try to save this report as. Save as. If we save in our My Documents, it will be locally stored. If we want to save on the repository, you can select here Access Client. As we know, the system name we can select here or here. I have selected their Access Client. Here it is showing like same as in our Launchpad. It will show the My Favorites are public folders. Where do you want to save? Here we can put Filter. We have covered this filters demo and we have saved it. That is about filters demo we have done. And now we will try to create one more report. To name. We will use some sales revenue in the result object also. Margin, and we will try to put here less than 1 lakh. I don't know whether we have data for that condition or not. Margin less than 1. We will try to run the query. I think it is not. Discontinued. I think we are not getting data for this. I mean, these are the old universes. Maybe we are not having the data. What we do is we will remove this filter here. And we'll see what is the margin applied here. We will try to put the filter here. If you can create a filter, the analysis and filter, or if you specifically want to create a filter on particular column, you can just click on the filter column and click and say filter, add filter. Both are same. Margin. I think it is not providing a list of values. That is why it's not taking. We'll see if it works. It's not working. Something is discontinued because these universes are created of much before. We will not have this. Controls. We can remove the filter. If you want to select some particular store name of fashion, Chicago, Detroit or Dallas, they are also, we can. We are getting this list of values because they have provided from the universe level. But for our margin, I think they are not being maintained. That's why we are not getting. If you know the concept, it's I selected only 2 store names and we got these 2 store names. This is about a report level filters. We are done with the filters, types and all. Now we will see how we format the document, this model. We will learn about these types like a block types. What are all the block types available? What are the panels available? How we can add tables to reports. How we can format tables and cells. Setting up page layout for tables, adding page header and footer and adding images. Working with formula and functions. Working with sections, breaks, crosstab rules. Sorting, enhanced copy paste. Show or hide block. These are the types of block types we have, and it supports 2 types of block. One is a table and the other is a chart. This chart we will discuss in the next module. Interactive analysis generates a new report with a table block and standard formatting. Whenever we create some report, whenever we pull some objects in the query panel. By default, it will show us in the form of table. Those table contents can be edited, formatted, or can be turned into a different table type or block type like chart. The different table templates which can be used to display information on web intelligence are: we have vertical tables, we have horizontal tables, we have crosstabs, and we also have forms. This is the vertical table. Look is like a normal table. It is showing in a columnar based, row wise data. That is, a vertical tables display the header cells at the top of the table and the corresponding data in columns. Though the header is shown in the top of the table and the data is in the columns. By default, the header cell displays the names of the dimensions. If you see, this is the header cell which has the blue background. This is the header cell. By default, what it will show us is this object name. Here, California, Colorado, this is coming from the object state, and this key figure, this number are sales revenue. This is a margin. By default, header cells displays the names of the dimensions, details and measures included in the table. The body cell displays the corresponding values. This is the body and this is the header. Horizontal tables means here. Vertical table means the headers are represented at the top of the table, whereas in the horizontal table, header cells at the left of the table and the corresponding data in rows. Whereas we have the data in columns. Here the data is in the rows. That is called a horizontal table. By default, the header cells display the name of the dimensions, details and measures included in the table. The body cell displays the corresponding value. This table format is useful for reports with several measures such as financial reports and balance sheets. This is useful when we have a list of measures, key figures, the numbers are if we have many. Then at that time this state, and if you are displaying around 10 measures for the state, instead of showing it in a horizontal vertical table, it is good to show in a horizontal because the state is like a California, Colorado. It will be like this, and sales revenue, margin quantity, profit, discount revenue. We can put this here and it will be a good visualization. This table format is useful for reports with several measures. When we have more measures to display, then it is useful. For example, financial reports and balance sheets. The financial reports and balance sheets, they contain many key figures. In those scenarios, horizontal tables are suitable. Crosstab. Crosstab displays values for dimension across the top axis and on the left axis. It is like a combination of horizontal and vertical table. If you see, here state is represented in rows, and in rows we will put the states. In columns we will put year, and in body we will put sales revenue. Then it will look at the crosstab. The body displays the value of measure that correspond to the cross section. It is for single dimension. We also have a crosstab for multiple dimension. If you see, here it is only showing year-wise single dimension. If you also include quarter in the columns, then this is year, this is quarter, this is state, and inside there is a data getting displayed. It is a multi-dimensional crosstab. This crosstab displays 3 dimensions, 2 as columns. These are the columns. Year and quarter as column headers and 1 as row header. That is the state. The values for the sales revenue measures are values each state by quarter for each line. It is like a crosstab. We have vertical tables, horizontal tables, crosstabs, which are single dimension and multiple dimension. We also have forms. These forms are mostly like address kind of thing. Forms are useful in your report to display detailed information per customer, product or partner. It is like it will not display any key figures or any measures. Instead, it will display more details about some customer or their address or product. It is like a visiting card kind of thing we can say, which will mention the name, the employee, ID, the phone number, address. It is like some visiting card or ID card. We can say that kind of representation is possible using forms. Here, forms are also useful for formatting address labels for envelopes. These are the panels that we use to create reports. This is if you click on design, then only we can edit. Editing mode is design mode. This is the left pane. It contains all these options. One is for document summary. One is for report math. Third is input control if there are any applied. Fourth is web service publisher. This is the available objects, and the sixth last one is document structures and filters. And here we can see the document options. This is the status bar, like when it got refreshed, and what is the page number and all. This is called status bar. This is the reporting menu, like report element format, data access analysis, page setup. These all options, we call it as a reporting menu. How we add tables to reports. One or multiple tables can be inserted on a report by dragging one of the following tables onto a blank area of the report. Select the required objects and drag and drop on reports. Workspace area to add new vertical table. If you want to add some 3 or 4 objects in the report, if you select and drop in the report space, table will be displayed. To add another object, once we create these 3-year quarter sales revenue, we have selected and kept in the report and the table got formed. If you want to add any other, like state, we can just drag it here and drop. When we can see this blue symbol, we have to drop then. Then we can see that a state is getting included in the report. Duplicating tables. We can duplicate tables. Multiple tables can be included on a single report. Instead of creating each table from scratch, if we want to have year quarter sales revenue under year state sales revenue, instead of doing it from scratch, what we can do is we can copy this and we can paste. Then we can change these objects, assigned objects. Instead of quarter, we can keep the state. Adding a different template to existing table. By default, the data gets appeared as a form of table, but we can turn that vertical table into other layouts like vertical table or horizontal table. We can just need to click on the table and we can see all these options. Under that, one of the options is turn the table into horizontal table or cross table or column chart, line chart, pie chart or more transformations available. That is possible to change a template to different from an existing template. Adding or removing tables, rows or columns. Different ways to adding rows or columns to table using drag and drop. We can just add by using drag and drop the object. Or insert row or column toolbar. We have here insert row above, insert row below, insert column on the left, column on the. We can add more rows and columns to enable, to use it for some other logical requirement. We can add moving rows or columns. If you want to move this here, if you see here quarter state store name, sales revenue is there. If you want to swap this here with state, and we want to see state first and here in the third position, what we can do is here in the second position. What we can do is we can just drag the state object from here and we can put before here. That state will be appeared before here. Quarter store name sales revenue. That moving is possible and here it is a swapping. Drag the selected columns or row onto the column or row which it has to be specified. If you want to swap, we can just click on this state and we will put here that instead of quarter, here state will get displayed like this. Clearing sales menu. We can clear all our clear format. If we apply any format, we can clear it. Clear conditional format. Conditional format is like applying alerts. If we have something like if property is less than 15 salons in, put that cell with the red background. We can apply that using conditional formatting. And if you want to clear that, we can clear conditional formatting. There are different ways to remove the table. We can just click on the table and click on delete. Or we can just drag and drop the table from reports page to left side available objects pane. Or we can select the table and click on delete key from the keyboard. It will also work to delete the table. Formatting tables and table cells. Format the tables and cells on table that the look and feel of documents reports. Corporate standard. Based on our corporate standard, if they want to see the report in blue or something like, they will be having some standard formats for all other for our company report. If they will be giving us what is the color coding that they required. Based on that, we can put the font size and font style and the color coding, everything using the formatting table option. Setting properties for table headers and footers. We can also set the properties like how to show our headers or footers. Repeat the headers or footers on every report page. Everything is possible. Setting page layout for tables. As I told you, repeat table headers or footers on report pages. If you click on that, it will repeat. Otherwise, we will not see the table headers. Those kind of options are there. And also we can avoid duplicate row aggregation using the properties that I can tell you later. This is just an example. Like if there is a company and they want to have this header, this kind of thing, we have to insert the logo. We will put that business object symbol like based on their requirement. We will keep them and we will put some header as a report name. Under footer, we can put like page 1 of 1. If we have around 50 pages of document, it will show us 2 of 50, 3 of 50, like that for every page. In the footer, the page number will be displayed. Based on our requirement, we can add images here. It is their appearance. And we can add image from the URL or image from file. We can browse and keep some logos and all. Working with formula and functions, we can also create some formulas and create new fields. We know that whatever we are using our reporting purpose, the objects all are coming from the database. I mean data source. In our case, it is a universe. But in some situations, everything might not be available from the universe and we might need some formulas and we need to create some new objects in those scenarios. We will create variables in our business objects. This is to create a new variable. We have to click on this and we have to give the name of the variable and give the formula like margin by quantity sold. It is margin per unit. We can create a new variable with the name margin per unit with the formula margin by quantity sold. Our functions also we can use like sum of sales revenue and all. We can create some use this formula editor and we can create some functions in the formulas. That is about adding formula. Adding variable is like we will keep it as a margin per unit. We will name it as something that it can be accessible in our reporting purpose in other tables. But if we just create a formula, it is not reusable. Like if we insert it here and I'll show you like what is that. This is the process for creating a variable. Variable is nothing but a named formula. We are giving some name to this formula as margin by quantity sold should be margin per unit. It can be reused throughout the document. We can use this for all the tabs of the report. We can use it. Variables can be used to build tables and charts. We can also use them to create charts. Variables. These variables cannot be used outside the document. If you are creating this report in this variable, in report 1, we have, if you save that as a report 1 that is applicable, that is useful for only for that particular report. It is like a local variable. We cannot use the same in other report. If we require, we have to create there also. But if something is created in the universe level, that is applicable for all the reports using that universe. But if you're creating something in the report level, that is specific to that report only. Variable can be created by using a variable editor or by naming an existing formula. We'll write some formula here and we'll name it and we will say whether it is a dimension or measure. We can use all these functions to write the formulas. These operators also we can use and we will validate by clicking on this symbol. And if it is correct, it will say that it has been validated and correct. Then we can use it in our reporting. These are the types of functions available. If you see here in our variable panel, we can see functions. These are the types of functions like aggregate. Aggregate under aggregate, we can see functions like sum, max, minimum, average. Those are aggregate functions. Character functions, like to deal with some strings. If you want to split some first few characters of some dimension. In those situations, the functions which deal with the strings are character functions like substring length, position. There will be many character functions available. Likewise, date and time document. Document means when we refresh the report. Last refresh date is a function. That kind of document name is a function. We have those kind of functions available under document. Date and time means to date. Means to convert one string to date and all. We have those available functions. These are the functions which are provided by business objects we can use for our creation of variables or formulas. To use a function, you need to know its name, how many input value it requires, with data types, type of data, the function written as output. For example, sum function. What it do is it will sum up total sales revenue. If we put like sum of sales revenue, it will give us a total of sales revenue in the defined context. If our report has a product and sales revenue, and if we put sum of sales revenue in the table bottom in the footer, then it will display total sales revenue for all the products. These are some functions. Like all means it will come under all. Aggregate means sum or average. Character functions which will manipulate character strings. Datate and time, it returns date or time related output. Document returns data about a document like who has refreshed or when it is last refreshed. What is the document name? Those kind of things can be achieved using document functions. Data provider. It returns data about a document's data provider like universe name, what we are using. Those kind of details. Logical, it is like it returns true or false. Logical is like a boolean. It is 1 or 0. If the condition is matching, it is true. Otherwise, it is false. 1 or 0. Numeric, it returns numeric data. Miscellaneous functions that do not fit into the above categories. These are the types of function categories that are available in business objects. We have applied this filter. We will remove this filter to have more data and we will save as with other names that we will have 2 versions of report. This is one table. By default, we are seeing this as a vertical table. If you want to click, you have to wait for this symbol, this cross symbol. Whenever this cross symbol appears, then click. Then you can see all these options available. As it is a vertical table, we will try to see and convert it to horizontal table. Here it got changed. If you have multiple key figures or multiple measures, then that is recommended. But in this case, it is not suitable. That is about horizontal table. Or we can turn this into a cross tab. Turn into cross table. We call it as a cross tab, but it is not looking proper. What we have to do is click again and assign data. Here we will put what should be the vertical axis and what should be the... We only have one object. We will add one more dimension. We only have store name here. We will have state also. Assign date. Horizontal axis. For horizontal, we will put state. For vertical, we will put store name. The body is for measures. It seems like the data is being discontinued for some of the reasons, but the appearance will be like this. It is one of the way of showing, and now we will. Yes, undo Ctrl Z. We can do is just we can click on delete and it will get deleted. These are the types of tables and how we can turn one table into other. Now we will turn this into. We don't need to turn. We will see like how we can copy paste here. It is state store name sales revenue and in other table we want state store name and margin. But for that we have to add these 3 objects in the report. But instead of that, what we can do is copy, paste. The same table got displayed. You can change it here or you can here also. You can use this assign data. Instead of sales revenue, what you can keep is margin. The state store name. We need it. Here we can change that. The table here, it is for margin state store name sales revenue, state store name margin. We can copy paste like this. This is like how we can copy paste, and if you want to have a store name in front, you just need to click on this column. And we can see this blue thing, blue rectangle. Then we can drop it. It will appear before the state. That is like how we can move the columns from left to and on. And we will see what are all the properties available. We can put like a void page break, start a new page, repeat header on every page. Appearances we can keep. Border, we can keep some plain border. We will apply to see like how it looks. We can see the border now. We can give the name avoid duplicate row. Aggregation means sometimes the duplicate rows gets aggregated. Means that the sum will be doubled as sum. We can check this option to avoid duplicate row aggregation. Show table headers if I uncheck this and apply. See, it is not showing state store name and sales revenue. It is not showing the table headers. If I click on this and apply again, it will show. And if you want to format this header, what we can do is appearance. Background, you can put some color. If you want to. Here it is mentioned as alternate color. We can keep that frequency as. If it is 0, it is nothing up here. If we keep that frequency as instead of, if we keep 1, it is for every row the data. The background gets changed. And if we put this frequency, alternate means how many alternatives we want to pick up 3. But it will appear like first it will appear purple. After 3 rows, it will appear purple again. This kind of formatting is possible. We can see the number of other options also later. We have these are several types of blocks and how we can play around with the table and report layer like up with the properties. We can, as we have seen here. I think for header, what we can do is we will not put this format table appearance. We will keep the color as normal. Non-background is white. But what we want to highlight is mostly we will do the color difference for the header. Just click on the cell and put the control button and click on these 3 cells and click. And here you can format cell there. You can put border appearance here. You can fill some color. We will put this color and we will drag it here. If we just apply, we can see the change. How it will change? We can click on. If you're with this, we can click on. It is not here. There are no borders getting displayed. Again, what we can do is we can select the cells that we require. Click. Format cell border. We will have a plain border. Its color is very grayish. That's why we're not able to see. We will put the color as black. And we will have the four sides border. And we will apply. If you see here now, it is a little bit clear, like these are the headers and this is the data. Before previously, we have this as a little bit different color, but it is not properly visible. Some cream color shade is there, but it is not visually appealing. For that purpose, what we can do is we can create like this, and based on our company's color requirement and their standard formatting requirements, we can keep which color they want. And sometimes if we have any images, also we can insert the image as logo here. If you see here, this is the table header. If you keep this report 1 name in this table header, in the report header, it will be getting displayed in every page. That is about different types of tables, how we can copy paste them, how we can turn that. What are the different types of tables, how we can change the properties of the tables. Everything is there. And this is the section that I have shown you in the PPTT. Here we have several options. This is the first one is document summary. If you click on document summary, it will give all the information about documents, like who is the author, which username we have created. And when is this creation date? Today only we have created for 2022. What is the locale? What is the when it got refreshed, last refresh date, when it was last refreshed, last modified, when it was last modified, and who has last modified it. Everything related to the document history we can see in the document summary page. And the second one is report map. If we have only one report, it is showing new document report 1. If we have multiple reports, it will show report 1, report 2, and all the structure will be displayed. This is for input controls. It is also one kind of filters which we will cover in the future. If there are anything applied, it will be shown here. This is for web intelligence services if we have anything. And this is for available objects. This is a document structure. This is for shared elements. This is for comments. These are the new features available in the new version in the 4.2. Shared elements. If you create something as a shared element that can be used in other reports also. Comments are also like if some person is doing analysis, they can mention some comments. We don't use this much, but we have these options. I think I clicked on this one and it was just taking a long time. Today we have covered like the complete toolbar, how it looks, what are the options and these tables, types of tables, how we can play with the tables. And finally, do not forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel.